Welcome to the Creature Cast, the official Console Creatures podcast, your home for the latest gaming news, some great reviews and conversation. I'm your host, Steve Egbaring. Alongside me, as always, my good pal Bobby. How the heck are you this week?
Doing really well. What are we? It's the fourth week of January. Like my brain's racked, but like I don't know. I'm energized by all the games that have come out this week. I wouldn't even say. I'm just like I'm ready, but like I'm tired. But other than that, living the dream.
Good. Yeah. I feel completely rotted to the core. My brain is shot. This has been an insane week, but I'm happy to be here talking about some great games, which we'll get to shortly. But yeah, we want to introduce as well, sitting in the rotating third chair for the show, Jonathan. Welcome to the show for the very first time. Yeah, for the audience who might not know, bringing you in some really cool ways. Do you want to kind of unpack your involvement in not only the show but like the Console Creatures umbrella?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I won't dive too deep into it, but just supporting however I can.
Sure.
Coming with some unique ideas, bringing a little bit of a PR and marketing background to the Console Creatures, and figuring out ways that we can just really tell great stories for gamers. Man, that's what it's all about.
I love that.
So
yeah. No, that's awesome. It kind of, speaking just for Bobby and I, like it kind of like re-energized us right from the year you started getting involved. We started talking about this rotating third chair for the show, bringing on other voices. Just this past week as well, which you guys can go find on all feeds, YouTube, Spotify, everything like that. I sat down with friend of the show and another reoccurring guest, Megan, Worst Person Shooter, to talk about Return to Silent Hill, the Silent Hill 2 adaptation that is getting critically panned, and for good reason. But it was an interesting conversation nonetheless, and that's something that Bobby and I really want to have more of, is more voices on the show, more friends on the show. So yeah, it's gonna kind of be rolling out incrementally. But yeah, enough about that, because we have couple really big games to talk about. But before we want to get into that, the weekly console update, I just threw in one little story here. We don't have to talk too much about it, but I figured we might as well go around the horn. Tomorrow, as of the time we're recording, January 29th, Nintendo is doing its Tomodachi Life Nintendo Direct. I just wanted to see, how are we all feeling about this game, this bizarre game coming from Nintendo? Bobby, how are we feeling? What's the temperature check on this Direct?
I mean, have you ever played these games? Because like I have no recollection of playing it, and I own it.
Okay.
Because that's my 3DS, and I was like, oh, I have it.
Yep.
I spent apparently 45 hours playing it. I don't recall a single second of it. So that's kind of where I'm at. I feel like I get to relive Tomodachi Life, whatever the hell it is. I don't even know where it is. Tell me two things you know about it off the top of your head. I will applaud you because I know nothing.
I mean, it has Mii's in it. I think that's something.
I mean, all I remember is my what are they? The Mii? Yeah, like my Mii was in the game.
Yeah,
he was
from the Wii. Yeah,
that's all I remember. Honestly, I do not remember a single thing. I actually couldn't believe that you even said there's a Direct this week. And I was like, what? And yeah, you know what? That just kind of proves the fact that that era is just like so forgotten at this point. It's been a while. It's been 12 years since the last one came out. So I don't know. I guess I'm going to say is I'm curiously optimistic to see what 12 years of Tomodachi Life is. Is it more of Animal Crossing? Is it more of The Sims? Like, I think maybe it's a mix of both. I don't know. But, I mean, it's Nintendo. So, like, really, how bad could it be?
Sure. It just looks so bizarre. Jonathan, how are we feeling about it? Are you stoked for Tomodachi Life?
Nah, I gotta be honest. Honestly, no. I mean, it reminds me of, like I said, like we've been talking about the Wii era, the 3DS era, which wasn't really my cup of tea. Honestly, it was. I know people loved it, but for me, I was just like really hung up on like the Xboxes, the PlayStations, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess anytime Nintendo is doing a Direct for something, it's it's their big news. So Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Could be like a fun little Animal Crossing type game that people are into, but not my cup of tea, that's for sure.
Sure,
Oh
sure.
wow, there was a direct in September. I don't remember a single second of it. And it was apparently 3 minutes.
Yeah, no, there was actually a lot. It's the trailer with the really big woman, the big me
Yeah,
that like
I remember
overlooked,
that.
and
Yeah.
that kind of became the meme. And ever since then, I just keep thinking about it because that moment feels like such a fever dream to me.
It's so creepy.
It's so
I don't
creepy. It's so
yeah.
bizarre. I don't know really what to think of it, but if it can maintain that energy and kind of give me some sort of, pseudo Animal Crossing vibes, I'll check it out. I have no affinity for Tomodachi Life aside from, vaguely playing it on the 3DS back in the day.
Yeah, like that's all I
Yeah.
remember. Honestly, now that I think about it, I'm just whatever. Let it come because that means we're closer to Pokemon Pokopia. That's what.
Hell yeah. That's
That
that's
looks-
1000%. Yeah.
Like,
I'm with you on that one.
like I would sacrifice Tomodachi Life for Pokopia right now.
I would throw Tomodachi Life in a
Volcano.
burning fire just to warm up.
Yeah. So like and I think that's in March. So like, you know what?
Yeah.
I would rather spend 100 hours with a Ditto than my me.
That's so true. Yeah.
So yeah, no, I don't know. You know what? That little weird Ditto girl thing, like, oh man, I love that thing. It's such a little weird mutant, and I that's what I'm in for. Like, I don't need to live life because life sucks some days. So I'd rather be living Pokemon.
The concept of that is cool. Like that you're a Ditto and you just go around and copying or you copy like a human, right?
They
Yeah.
should have
Yeah,
an adult Ditto game where you just murder people as a Ditto and you get away with it.
Yeah, it's unique.
Oh, like Manhunt, but with a Ditto.
Yeah, like that, exactly. Or like Dead by Daylight or Dead by Ditto. And
Dead,
it's just
Dead by Ditto. There we
and
go.
you just go to a different Johto region, you go to Kanto, and you just kill the professors there. And that's all you do. And then you just walk away.
Getting murked out by a Ditto is
That would be embarrassing.
unreasonably funny. Yeah, I'm open to the idea. I like it.
There is a market for
I
it.
think Dead by Ditto is just it requires a game to be made just by the sheer name alone. The
Think of it this
branding
way.
is insane.
Yeah, think of it this way: if Sonic can be killed by Sega, Ditto can kill people.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that's all I had for the news because I feel like one of the games that we're going to be talking about this week is news enough. There's a certain discourse, there's a certain air going around in the gaming industry this week, for some I guess good reason. But I do really want to talk about what we've been playing, and one of those games is Highguard. Jonathan, you and I have been putting in some time this week trying out the game. Yeah, why don't you kick things off? Like, tell me top level, how much have you been playing? What are your overall thoughts? And then we can kind of start picking this game apart in different avenues. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, jumping into it, obviously, straight from the Game Awards trailer and stuff like that, I think that was kind of like a big mistake. Like, let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
I think that Jeff kind of, I don't know, from the discourse you see online, I do think some of the hate, some of the critiques, I should say, are warranted, but like pushing it towards hate is like, after diving into it and spending a little bit of time with it. So I've played it for a couple hours now.
Okay.
Jumped in with like some of the guys from Console Creatures, and
Nice.
I mean, it's not horrible. Okay, it's not I guess whatever people are equating it to, Concord levels bad of a disaster. I think the problem is that I was experiencing is that it's and Steve, you can let me know what you think, but it's like a mishmash of genres, and it's almost like they didn't know what they wanted to be, so they kind of just threw everything at it. Especially for me, I'm a huge fan of Apex. So I was already giving these guys the benefit of the doubt because I love Apex, I love Titanfall, that whole world, that that whole they do a really good job at world building. With this one too, you kind of feel like even when you're looking at the characters, there's no real background. I'm not gonna say the art style is like Concord level bad, but it's just you feel like there's no. And again, I'm not sure if these are things that are gonna roll out eventually with the game. But I mean, again, that's one. The way the characters look is one sort of issue in terms of how the actual game plays, right?
Mhm.
Like you have, I mean, to break it down, you essentially have Apex style looting, right? Uh, and Apex style gunplay mixed with Rainbow Six Siege and Valorant sort of bomb planting is the best way I can describe it.
Yep.
You
Yeah, no,
know, and even
I think that's a really good, like, top level. Yeah, like, it does feel like they kind of had these ideas of what great competitive games were, these, like,
yeah,
not genres per se, but, like, inspirations, and they were kind of like, "Okay, let's make this, like, multi-phased match type," which they're calling, a 3v3 raid shooter.
raid
They didn't
shooter,
wanna
yeah,
make it a hero shooter, because it kind of is a hero shooter at the end of the day with its, like, legends, which they call wardens and stuff like that.
right, Warrens, yeah.
Um, yeah, so I do agree. It does kind of feel like it's like a hodgepodge of things that we already know.
Yeah, exactly. And so why would someone as a gamer, why would you jump from one of the games you're already playing to come in and play this game, right?
Yeah,
Obviously, you need to get like again, if you want to give it a chance, you want to have some fun, they want to I know that they're going to roll things out because it's kind of I was trying to remember back to when Apex launched and I was like they kind of did the same thing, small legend pool, same sort of style and all of that. I guess people were just expecting some fully fledged game and honestly, I was watching some reviews and I think fair critiques is that maybe they should have had some closed betas with some players and let them
yeah,
play a little bit, get an idea of, what to fix. Cause I think for me, it was like I don't know if you remember, but it basically in the beginning, after you've reinforced your walls, which mind you get blown out in a second as soon as people come in and raid you anyways. But you're hacking at stones to then try and upgrade weapons or again get pieces of like reinforced walls. But that to me felt like a cozy couch mini game. So I was
yeah,
like, it took me right out of the experience. I'm like, hack, hack, hack. Okay, get this. Hack, hack, hack. Get this. And it just to me, it like didn't make sense. And then the other thing was the armor and weapon upgrades.
mhm,
It's like you move from gray to blue, and then in the next round, after a siege is done, it's like blue to purple, purple to orange. And yeah, the weapons upgrade, but the problem is if everybody has the orange, then everybody has the same type of weapon.
yeah.
So
Yeah, we'll kind of get into that because I think that for people who haven't played Highguard, the idea of Highguard is requires a little bit of like step by step
oh yeah.
walkthrough because it
Yeah.
is. And it feels so silly to say it's a complex game to kind of explain because they threw so much at the wall.
Yeah.
And I really do resonate with what you said with maybe potentially having, some sort of beta period because there was this preconceived notion. I think this all goes back to the Game Awards in which Highguard was first shown. Jeff Keighley gave it that prime. Here's the one more thing. He kind of like teed it up as like, hey, this is going to be the next big project from the Apex Legends
Yeah.
team. A lot of the team that created Highguard came directly from Apex Legends, so they had so much experience and passion, and they kind of understood what a multiplayer game kind of needs to be in this ecosystem. But in doing so, I think that it almost did the game a little bit of a disservice because so many people did have this preconceived notion where they're watching the trailer, myself included. I was like, oh, there's interesting things like the mount system. Some of the legends or the wardens do look kind of cool. And then as the trailer went on, I was like, oh, it's a hero shooter. That's I don't like Overwatch. I don't like Marvel Rivals for this specific reason. I'm not a fan of the genre.
Not
So
huge on it, yeah.
I was already kind of like, okay, write this off. But as time went on and they kind of went silent over the last month or so, I was like, I gotta at least give it a shot. I gotta kind of see what this game is. And I put in at this point like 4 hours, and I do largely echo exactly what you said. Like, I don't feel like this game has an identity.
Yeah.
Still feel like at no point in this game am I like, this is Highguard. It's just Highguard is a reflection of everything that's come before it because of all the inspiration it's taken, all the experience that the developers clearly have. It's just that there's nothing holistically new aside from, hey, let's take all these things and put it in a blender and this is what comes out. So I guess like to kind of kick things off, and then we can kind of like start dissecting some of these specific things is like what Highguard even is, because as you get into it, like I said, it's a 3v3 raid shooter. So you jump in and essentially you have access to, I think, 8 legends or 8 wardens, and each of them have like a specific ability and a kind of like an ultimate ability as well. A lot of them, like one of them, I was playing as this female character who can essentially take the fortified walls at the enemy base and turn them into sand, so you can kind of like phase in and out of them. It was really sick. I thought that was like a very cool concept. There's also one that essentially like becomes almost like a bear and can smash through those reinforced walls.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool. Like and there's one that's like straight up Ken from Street Fighter, and that throws fireballs and has like some cool abilities there as well. So you pick one of those, and then your team can essentially pick one of 5 bases and base archetypes where their 2 bombs are kind of planted within their base that you can choose
Yeah.
from.
That portion feels like I don't understand it, because you're picking the base and they give you a recommended one, and it feels
Yes.
like everybody just picks the recommended base.
It really does. But I think that is kind of prone to letting the game evolve and people kind of figuring out the meta. I think
Mm,
that's kind of where that was kind of developed and designed for, is that people will eventually be like, no, that this we know this base so well, and the intricacies of, hey, if we fortify this wall versus like if we knock down this wall, we'll get like
yeah,
the specific viewpoints to watch both bombs at the same time. I think that part will kind of come
could
with time
evolve.
with the community. But at first glance, I was like, I don't know any of these bases.
Yeah,
I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just gonna go recommended.
yeah,
So yeah, you choose that, you load into the game, and then your first 2 minutes into the match is fortify your base, and essentially it's Rainbow Six Siege. So you're going up to the areas where you have your 2 bombs, and you can start fortifying the walls to make it difficult for enemies to get in. And at first glance, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like
yeah.
I don't know. Like I just feel like I'm running
It
around sporadically.
it feels like I mean, it definitely is worse than Rainbow Six Siege.
Yes.
It's just a quick like plaster this on the wall, and I'm
Mhm.
gonna assume that I have to put it around the what are those beacon things or whatever that
The generators, the
the
bomb
generator. Yeah, the
sites, yeah.
generator. Thank you. Exactly. I'm just gonna assume that I have to put it around that. So that's kind of what you're doing in that stage.
Yeah, again, I feel like because it's so early, we don't really have the meta to it all, so I feel like with it more experience, maybe it becomes easier to figure it out, but I was like, I'm just going willy-nilly here.
Yeah.
And then the game kind of does evolve past that, where then you're kind of sent into this middle ground area where both teams are then kind of sent into this large, not a separate map, but a large portion of the map where you can, yeah, like you were saying, search for armor, search for better weapons, search in resource. I can't remember what it's called, but essentially in-game currency that you can take to a merchant to
Yeah.
buy weapons, buy armor, buy like restock of armor if you want to have more.
It's like a
And
crystal, essentially,
exactly.
is what it is. Yeah,
Uh,
whatever it is.
and this is where the game kind of starts falling apart for me, because it feels like a lot of busy work for a map that is largely empty and has nothing really going on.
Yeah, it's a weird part. It's like, we need something before the game actually starts.
Yeah,
So what can we make them do? And like I said, I felt like I was in a comfy, cozy couch, just hacking away,
sure.
like gathering some gems,
Hacking
you
away
know,
with a quick time with a QTE style
mechanic.
mechanic thrown in
Yeah,
there. So
that
yeah,
is annoying.
you're mining for this crystal, the currency, and you have to hit it at a very specific time. It's almost like the
Yeah,
Fortnite mechanic where you're knocking stuff and you kind of have to hit the little like on-screen prompt or whatever. But
yeah,
if you miss, you're slowed down. You have to restart. It's kind of tedious and annoying, to be honest.
yeah. And I, without like jumping ahead, because I like that we're diving into it this way, I had a strategy of, getting these gems
Mhm.
and running back to the merchant and
Yep.
buying more fortified walls. But if
Oh,
you're not,
interesting.
yeah, but then I think what happens is like then you're taken away from actually going to get some of the armor,
Yep.
right? And then I find that the wall, so to me, there's no cost benefit of like getting this to reinforce more walls in your base because they just get blown out in
Yeah.
like seconds.
I
So-
haven't seen any reason for me to invest more into the fortified walls, because I've seen them in the merchant. I was like, I don't know why I would. I just
do it.
like, I go armor. I don't even buy
Exactly.
new weapons unless I really feel like I need to. But yeah, a lot of it is like finding the 2 different chests. There's a red one, a blue one, and red ones have new weapons in them, and blue ones will have armor, maybe some grenades or stuff like that, or like the bomb to like break up the reinforced walls.
Yeah. Do they even have different? I actually don't know. There's no different grenades in there, right? It's just a 1 set grenade.
It's just the
I think it was
one, yeah,
one
yeah,
grenade. Yeah.
yeah. No, you're
Another
right.
thing. You're like,
Yeah.
right.
Um,
So no style there.
And then, yeah, I guess there's like about 2 minutes of doing that of like resource management, searching out these things. And then what randomly on a random part of the map will come this like magic sword, which they call the shield
Yeah.
breaker.
Shield
And then the game turns into, oh, and one thing to note, all the while, both teams are in the same shared areas of the map. So
Area.
there can become like skirmishes, but the actual game doesn't really start until the shield breaker appears, and then both teams kind of have to fight over it, and it becomes like a capture the flag. So once you
Yeah.
get the shield, you have to bring it to the opposite like side of the map, the enemy's base, to break down their base's shield.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, I mean, for me, this was at least the most fun part of the game.
Okay, interesting.
It's like because it feels like capture the flag. And I mean,
Yeah.
like, listen, everybody loves capture the flag. I don't care who the hell you are. You know, from when you were a kid to now, it's a great game mechanic, essentially, right? It's a gameplay loop that everybody loves. So it's like it's fun that they added it in here, and it's fun that you're kind of, you know, having this is where the gunplay at least starts, right?
1000%,
actually,
yeah.
you're actually and listen, the team is good. I saw some stuff that said the gunplay was bad, but I don't agree with that. I think it feels fine. I think it feels like Apex. If you're not used to Apex, it's just a little bit more punchier. Time to kill is a little bit long, so that's again another mix of, is this supposed to be a battle royale or is this supposed to be a different type of genre? Because your time to kill is very battle royale like, right? I'm literally beaming guys and it's taken a while to kill them. But I do think that at least the game is opening up a little bit here. And I guess I wanted to get your thoughts, Steve, on this. Is like I only found that when you're fighting for this shield breaker, I found that the team that got it first usually ended up winning the match. Actually, I think 100% of the time in my matches, they always won, because they were either able to like, because the TTK was too high, then the other members could then come back and like help fight and pick up the shield or pick up the sword, and then just sprint with their mount to your base, and all they have to do is put it in, and that's kind of it, right? So,
I've seen, so I do agree. I think majority of the percentage I have seen that if you get the shield, you can essentially call up your mount, you're sprinting to the other side, and you're able to. I think the worst part about it is that once you start doing the prompt to break down the shield, it's so quick. So if an enemy gets to the base, it's essentially over at that point, and the gate will start coming down. But I do agree. Like, I think the gunplay feels really good. I love that you can, you know, handle it on foot or pull up a mount and kind of start chasing the opposite team. The one thing that I found is very good for counteracting the team with the shield breaker is that there's a quick prompt on the D-pad, I believe, where you can teleport back to your base, which is then you can kind of start playing the defense, which I found was very, very effective of trying to get the upper hand. Because if you're trying to chase them, that ain't happening.
Yeah, but I think that's the problem though, is like that mechanic. I think that's a bit of a cop out, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they've got it, and I'm gonna give you this button to teleport back, so I know that pretty much whoever gets it first is gonna unlock the base.
No,
right? That's what it feels like, you know.
Yeah,
And so
I
to
don't
me,
personally like it myself, but I've used it.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is too, is like, I think that takes you out of the game a bit too. And I found that, because for me, it's like if I'm gun playing and I'm in the middle of a fight, and then all of a sudden they have it and I'm supposed to just teleport back. I get why, but that to me signals some issues around maybe map sizes, maybe, you know, even when you're back, then you have to find your way. What's the point? Like, what do you do when you're back? Do you fortify? Do you stop them from trying to get to the actual base? Like, what is your objective there? And I think, again, these are probably things you'll learn as you play it more.
Yeah.
But just like weird, again, too many elements I think at play, and this is compounding problems.
Right. And then finally, the final phase of the match is when one team breaks down the shield of the opposition's base. It turns into search and destroy, where the base has 2 generators, and you're basically planting the bomb. It turns into kind of a Valorant or a Counter-Strike-esque match. And this is where I think that the match really does amplify the excitement, because I feel like search and destroy with heroes, with abilities and stuff like that is actually pretty fun. I do like this portion. It's getting to this that I feel like is so tedious. Because I think largely it's fun. I think it's well balanced. The bases, I think, have like a good, map design and everything. It's just that once you get into a stalemate, or both generators aren't destroyed, the game kind of resets, and then you have to do it all over again for the second quote unquote round. And then at that point, I'm like, I'm bored. Like, I don't want to redo this for the same match, because I've had some matches where I've won in less than 9 minutes, and then other ones where the match goes on for 30 minutes. And I was like, what are we doing? Like, this is the discrepancy of time, I feel like, is too all over the place. But I do think that there's something there within that last kind of phase. It's just it's muddied around.
And I think too, it's like you get to this phase, and again, the gunplay is good. You're having like fun, and here is where I was really, because I don't know about you, but I felt like the abilities were useless until this phase, right? And so it's like, why do I have these abilities if I can't really use them out in the field? Because I played as Condor. She was kind of like a scout, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I usually like to play those characters, because usually when you're starting out a new game, you want to get as much information as possible. So for me, it's like I played Bloodhound, for example.
I was just about to say it's 1-to-1 Bloodhound from Apex.
Exactly. So that's why I did it, because I learned a lot from actually just understanding, your ultimates, your, cooldown, whatever, all these things that you have, your abilities that you have. But I just felt like I'd send out my bird in the middle of the field, and it'd come back no scan. But the team's like a little bit further in front of me. And so it's like, this is a useless ability, right? And again, these will probably be things that they'll tweak and whatnot. But then she has similar to, I think it's Viper and Valorant, but you can drop clouds of smoke.
Oh, cool.
Right? Yeah. So then you can drop clouds of smoke, but then it's like, where am I putting these? Because out in the field, if I drop one, it doesn't do anything, because they can easily go around it. The map's too big. And then when I'm inside, it's like, it's not fast enough for me to put them down, because it's on a crazy cooldown.
Sure.
And so then that costs you as well. So then that renders that character basically useless until, you can't really block the teams and stuff like that. So I think they definitely need to tweak that and figure out how you can use your abilities more in the game. Instead of just at the end there.
No, I agree, because again, even the female character that I was using, I can't remember her name, but her ability is just taking down those fortified walls and making them a sand. So it's like out in the middle area of the map, useless, completely
Scarlet.
useless.
I think she's the one with the tattoos. Scarlet, I think.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, blue tattoos or something. Yeah. I never tried that one, but I did one.
Really fun for that last phase, but aside from that, kind of useless.
And I wanted to just ask, sorry, Steve, just quickly.
Of course.
Because I kept having this nagging thought in my brain about, should there be more people on the map?
Okay, this is exactly what I wanted to get into. Yes.
Okay, good. I'll let you take it.
No, because I feel like something in those middle phases, whether you're doing reconnaissance for armor, shield, or new guns, you're fighting over the shield breaker, everything up until getting to the search and destroy element, I feel like either there has to be more enemies, like more teams, like whether or not you're doing 3v3v3, or maybe it's a 5v5, something like that, just to kind of get some more action going on in that map. Or I was thinking, what if they start doing like a PvE element where there are like bots, something just to do, because like it does suck that when I die, I have to respawn at my base, and I'm running on my mount, and I'm going all the way back to where my team is. I'm not engaging in the game at all. I'm just kind of running. Yeah. And I just wish that maybe there was an element where there are some, bots, easy to kill bots, but maybe that goes to amassing currency rather than, you know, playing Minecraft, or maybe they have the opportunity to drop a piece of armor or something like that. Just give me something to do, because the gunplay again is pretty strong. I'm just not engaging in it as much as I want to in that middle section.
Yeah, and I think you both played Arc Raiders. I never got a chance to play it, but similar to that, right? There is a PvE element where you are fighting machines and you're getting things from these machines. So why not like implement that into, especially into the fantasy game? I'm a sucker for anything fantasy, like anything with this style. And that's why when people were saying like, oh, it's AI art, whatever, I'm like, come on, like we're just saying that because AI exists, but I think it's actually decent and whatnot. But it's just like, give me something to do, something better to do in that early section with a PvE element, add more players. Honestly, even I do think that they might get to a point where they'll need to scrap certain systems and overhaul the game completely. That's my take and thought on it. And I wanted to know what you think, but I think even just turning it into more of a style where it is more Apex and less Valorant and Rainbow Six Siege, right? Because then you can get more players into the game, or even make the teams larger if that helps. I don't know if that could change anything. But curious to see where they take it.
I know. And I think just worth pointing out at the time that we were recording, the game released, and I'm looking at the Steam charts right now. It launched with a peak of 97,000 players. Right now, when we're recording, it's dropped down to 11,000. So retention is not too high. This obviously isn't taking into account consoles. It is available on Xbox and PlayStation, but it's a free-to-play game, so the cost to even just try it very low. So this kind of shows to me a lack of just overall interest in the game, and I don't know how much time the team is going to have to kind of rework this game, because these aren't great numbers right now.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, they're like an independent studio, right? So they're self-funded essentially.
Wildlight Entertainment is the developer and the publisher of the game.
Exactly. So it's like, I don't know how much funds they have to keep pumping into this. They said in an interview that they have a full year roadmap. They might need to push out content faster than they'd like to keep players engaged. I don't know if I'd worry about the number too much. I think being free to play, super helpful.
Sure.
It's not like anything else that's at a $40 price point. So even to get players back in, I think is fine, because again, it's free to play. They can jump in whenever. And honestly, like I might even jump back in a little bit if you guys wanted to play, just to test out the waters a bit again. It made me realize I really want to go back and play Apex, which I'm like, oh, fuck, whatever. But anyways, I just think like, I don't know what's going to happen given the fact that they are the publisher. And
I mean, I assume that because they had because you brought up Apex and that kind of initial rollout, I do remember distinctly, because I started playing Apex day one, that it took a long time for them to start updating the game and getting more content for it. And for them to come out and be like, I think I read in an interview that essentially once they had the foundation of Highguard, they already started doing what's going to be the next big update, and kind of start looking ahead. So I think that they have like a bit of runway. I just wonder how much of that runway allows for them to kind of listen to the community, listen to the audience, listen to feedback, and start making these changes. Because if it is we're adding more players, or we're getting rid of the mining system and making the the search for loot and armor kind of more compelling, maybe that could entice more people to come check it out. Because I'll throw it over to Bobby. Like, you haven't bothered to play it at all.
I have no interest, like absolutely nothing.
Right.
So what would make you come back, Bobby? Like, that's what I'm curious about. What would make you come back? Like, what would make you check out the game? Like, if they implemented something, what would it be that would draw you back in?
Nothing. There's like there's too many good games to play. I have no interest. There's literally so many games, like you could turn any direction, you'll find a dozen games just ready to be played.
Yeah.
And ultimately, there's better games. Battlefield's the best shooter game this in the last 12 months.
Arc Raiders.
Arc Raiders is
people
out
love
there.
it.
Like really, there are better games out there, and if you want to play free games, like obviously Apex is still around. You still have got Fortnite. You've still got all these games.
Yeah.
I feel like they're trend chasing. That's all it was, and like they don't know what they want to be, and ultimately it's going to be their downfall. And I hate to say it, but like they chase the wrong trends. Extraction shooters are boring. Hero shooters are boring, and like Steve said, Marvel Rivals, as beautiful as it looks, like it's just so boring. I hate those kind of games. I want Call of Duty. I want Titanfall. I want Battlefield. Those are the shooters I want. Like that's it.
Yeah.
There's more to those than there is in an extraction shooter or a hero shooter, because really the abilities mean nothing. I don't care for waiting out the timer to get out of the map. It's just that stuff does nothing for me. And there's a better game that already exists that does everything this game does better. And I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. Immortals of Avium.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah.
Immortals of Avium is a good game.
It was, but I don't think that they're one to one.
It takes the medieval stuff. It takes everything this game does, and I think it did it well. And I know they're different genres, but like the ideas and the scope is there. It just added guns. Like
Guns.
Really.
Yeah.
I don't get the whole high fantasy and guns. It makes no sense to me. I would have preferred if it was like a shooter with magic, like what Immortals does. Everything's like magic based. Even the guns or whatever you want to call them, like they're all spell based. Like that would have been way cooler.
Yeah.
Sure.
Fair enough. More melee. Like why is there no melee in this game? It's a fantasy game. Like why are there guns?
There is a melee. It's just horrible.
Yeah, I've never used it.
It's like impossible to use it because everything is trying to be faster paced. And again, that's where the mishmash comes, right?
But like, I'm sorry, like I thought it would be cool, but like no.
Yeah,
that's fair. I have 0 inches in this game. Like I might try it once and that's it. But ultimately, they're just Arc Raiders is getting pretty consistent updates, and it's so much fun.
Another one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna play right after this.
Yeah, and it's so much fun. Like that sense of just going to a map unknown. You don't know what's coming at you. You don't know if the person that you come across is going to be friendly or they're going to shoot you on the spot. That stuff's cool. What's so cool about this game? From what I've seen, like I've heard, it's just a lot of busy work for what you're not getting out of it.
You're not wrong.
So, yeah, I don't. I'm being harsh on it, but like. It was hyped up by Jeff, and like I get like he really liked what he played, but like
I do think that Jeff didn't do this game any favors by hyping it up to
he sent it to die.
That he did.
I hate to say it, like I respect what he does. Like he's got a hard job, but
yeah,
man.
I'm sure he had a ton of passion. I think that he really did think that he was sitting on something really novel and wanted to get involved in it and everything. But I think that having that kind of hype for a game like this didn't really do it any justice. I think people had to come in with this and figure out whether or not it was for them. I don't think it was for Jeff to kind of decide and put it on the pedestal as much as he did. I think sadly it kind of backfired.
Everything, like I get what he did, but like everything he did really set them back. And regardless, even the whole notion of shadow dropping, like that doesn't work for every game.
No.
The last one that worked was what? Apex Legends?
Well, no. There've been a lot of great shadow drops. I mean, Hi-Fi Rush was a shadow drop.
No, but I'm talking about like a shooter.
Oh,
yeah.
That was the last one I could say that just came out of nowhere, and it was just such a hit out the gate. And
I can't remember if Warzone was. If Warzone was a shadow.
It was, but it was only because COVID. It dropped during COVID.
Yeah. Apex was after. Oh my god, my perception of time is
Apex
destroyed.
Was 2019.
Okay.
And then the next year was Warzone, but it was during COVID.
Okay.
So, I mean, I it's a technicality. Whether you want to count it or not is totally up to you. I don't really count it because literally nobody had anything to do during COVID, as we all remember. So
yeah, That's fair.
The last true shadow drop was Apex Legends, and
They
that was
pulled it
right in
off
the
like
model.
they did, and I feel like they kind of tried to replicate that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, these
Clearly.
people probably were that launch. They were part of it. They saw what they did, and they're like, we can do it again.
Yeah.
And that's really rare. You cannot do that. Like, it's very rare. And I don't know. I hope this game finds an audience. It's obviously not going to be the next Fortnite, but whatever it turns out to be, like, they really have their work cut out for them, because Concord should have been an example of what not to do. And I liked Concord. It had some great mechanics, a really good gunplay, but like, it just
Concord was a ripping game, and I'm gonna die on that hill. Like, I will defend
it was great.
Concord. People
love
who are
Concord.
like, "Oh, this game's just as bad as Concord." I think Concord is better than Highguard, but that's just me.
It's way better. The gunplay was good. I loved the
Yeah.
characters. They actually did something in the maps, and like, from what I've seen, there's nothing to this game that's really sticking out to me, like, outside of the fact that it's medieval guns.
Yeah.
And that's boring to me. Like, that's just such a stupid.
When you say it like that, I feel like I feel stupid for even playing it. Medieval guns. It's like
It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, obviously there's magic and all that, but like, you guys tell me there's a sword you gotta use to start the raid or whatever, and it's just like, why are there not swords the entire time? Why can I not go up to you on like a horse, because you ride horses? Why can't I like fight you on the horse?
You get a giant hammer and you can shoot off the horse. So it's
why am I shooting off the horse? How does that make any sense? Where's there's like, it's just no. I feel like they're like, we'll make it work, but it doesn't work to me. It's just, none of it works.
That's fair.
And I hate to say it, like, I feel like this is a big misfire for this studio, and they're gonna be hurting for it. And like, that's all I really see from this, and I don't see it going well. Yeah. And I hate to be that guy, but like, there's just so many people making games. There are so many people making good games, and it's like, this is not a good game.
Fair
and
enough.
I don't understand, like, that group of journalists that went to this thing and this event, and they're like, oh, it's really good. And for disclosure, I know they all got their flights paid and all that, but blah blah blah. And like, really, I don't feel like I should be incentivized to give you a good, word of mouth or whatever article you expect from me. It's because you pay for my flight and stuff. Like, if I went to this event, I would be like, you know what, I don't like this game, and I didn't see any of that.
Yeah, at least to like inform them, like, hey,
I feel you just do your job, like, yeah. And it's just like with reviews, like, I've always told people who work on the site, like, don't give it a good score for the sake of giving it a good score. It's not a good game.
Yeah, you don't have to bash it like people bash games, but it's like, just like, give honest feedback.
Just be like, hey, it's not. I don't think it's good. Here's why, and like, that's fair to me. And I don't know. There's just so many better shooters out there. At Ultimate, like, really, all the things that they're trying to do, like I said, are trends that they should have not chased. I don't care for extraction shooters. Like, what extraction shooters are still around? There's one. There's one good one. And
extraction shooters?
Yeah.
There's Tarkov. There's Ark.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ark.
Yeah, there's.
I tried Ark, not Ark, Tarkov. Like, it's fine. It's too technical. It's not for every person.
Yeah.
Highguard's not an extraction.
A broader audience, like everybody. Like, if I ask like some of my friends who don't follow the game scene, like, hey, what are you playing? And I hear, this game, I'm like, oh, okay. But like, I never hear anybody saying Tarkov. It's Ark. Maybe now Rainbow Six, and that's it.
Marathon.
No one really talks about Tarkov. Very niche game. Like, those are niche games. I consider them not mainstream.
No, certainly not main. I think Ark would be the most mainstream, but
yeah. So like, it's very limited, right? And those games are really good. Like, that was lightning in the bottle for 2025. Yep. Like, it was just such a unique time. It came at the best time. Marathon could go either way. The beta I was in was terrible. I thought it was the most boring thing that Bungie's done in years, and I'm just excited to see what they do with this next game.
I think it's got potential.
It has potential, but like, when Ark exists and it sold me from just a little slice of what it was showing in a little alpha state that I played.
Yeah.
that's a bad sign for marathon. And not to knock Bungie, but like they're known for a lot of their plagiarism issues, and like they've got a lot of internal, you know, situations that are just really keeping things unstable.
I don't disagree.
Yeah,
But
so
we
it's
will
all there.
see. We'll see what happens with Highguard. I'm not too convinced that they came out, swinging, but hopefully, just for the team's sake, that they can kind of listen to the audience feedback. But that being said, I want to talk about a different game that is actually coming out very shortly. It's Cairn, a rock climbing simulator game from the Game Bakers, sorry. A rock climbing simulator out on PlayStation 5 and PC. Bobby, you and I have been playing this. I'll toss it over to you because I feel like I've been talking a lot about Highguard, but I want to hear your thoughts on Cairn and how much time you've been putting into it.
Yeah, so I mean, what am I at? Like, I think I'm about 20. I don't know, even 20. I got 15 hours. It's short. I'm just about done. I'll be done by review embargo. I love Cairn. I think it's such a unique game. I had no expectations. I literally did not care to play this game, despite all the praise and stuff online. I was like, it's fine. But like, shame on me because Jusant was one of the best games I played in 2024. I love the climbing in that, and then I'm now playing Cairn, and it's literally baby steps up a mountain. And that's the way I can describe it. Like, if you play baby steps and you love that game, this is technically the same thing. And I really appreciate that the climbing is just really thoughtful. There's just a lot of elements to it that really put this game to the top of my list of 2026. I know we're only the first month, but like I review wise, I played a lot of games. This is probably the number one. Yeah. Just because of just how unique it is, how much I wouldn't say fun, but how much I don't know. What's another word we use for fun? Like it's challenging. It's a masterful game. Like I'm enjoying the challenge of mastering the mechanics because that's what it is. It's not ultimately fun until you finally click, and that took forever. But like, it's just the challenge of learning how to use your limbs individually all over again. After baby steps was really cool. I'm torn on the character. I mean, we can talk about that, but like ultimately, like the situation of conquering this insurmountable mountain as one of the first people is just really cool. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just a really cool game. Ultimately, like it's a little brief slice of life game, and I appreciate what it's trying to do in that regard.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, there's so much we can talk about. Like, I mean, let's start with this. Like, you can bounce it back off to me. Like, what were your expectations? Because I know we both got this code. I was just like, whatever, it's fine. I'll check it out eventually. Because I had some other cool things coming in. But like, what were you thinking? I know I asked you. You're like, yeah, I got it. I'll start it eventually. But like,
I remember seeing this game during like a PlayStation showcase or something like that. And again, I played Jusant when it first came out, and that's another climbing game. And I thought, just on what I saw in the trailer, I was like, oh, okay, this is a Jusant Light. This is a another climbing game, and I was like, I don't really need to play this right away. I'm kind of just okay with what I saw, and I'm happy this game kind of exists. And afterwards, I got the code for the game, and the more I played it, the more I kind of fell in love with this game. It's a very complex game in that, Bobby kind of alluded to it. You have to climb this huge mountain, and it's called Mount Cami, and you have to, as this professional mountain climber, you're tasked to like climb the rock face of this mountain using every individual limb. So you're going methodically, left foot, right arm, left arm, and you're using essentially every handhold to the best of your ability, and you're using the the physics of the game to balance yourself. And there's an in-game stamina system where you have to like, if you're climbing too much or you're off balance, like you'll have to like wait and take a beat, get your breath and everything like that. And then once you reach like a momentary of safety, you can get into a save point, and you can get into your tent, and that's when the survival elements come in, where you have to cook food, drink water, regain your health and your temperature and all of this. So there's a lot of like in-game survival systems in this game as well. And yeah, it's a very complex game, and it took me probably I beat the game in about 10 hours, and the first 2 hours I was like, man, this is tough. Like, this is
It was
rough.
hard.
I'm not
It
really
was,
getting it. It took me like a long time to feel comfortable moving. When you fall, it sucks. It feels like you take like a massive step back, similar to kind of like baby steps, where it's like, oh boy, now
oh
I have to
man,
go
but
back up this thing.
I just want
Obviously,
to.
alluding to the
I just want to make a
yeah,
quick
yeah,
note.
yeah.
Kudos to the Game Bakers for having the rewind feature, because if Baby Steps had that, oh man, I would have loved it so much more. We'll talk
Yeah,
about
so
that. But like, yeah, that
yeah.
little thing saved my life.
Yeah, so in addition, alluding to the name, there are cairns that you can place into the rock that basically, if you do fall, you can kind of not lose a lot of your progress. You could just like use that as like a midway save point to get
Yep.
to the next little bridge to safety. But yeah, I didn't really resonate too much with the story. I thought it was very safe about, overcoming one's obstacles and believing in yourself and yada yada yada.
It was so by the book. And that's
It
kinda
was.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I'll throw it back to you. Like, how did you feel kind of just about like the overall challenge about the
Yeah.
of the game?
Yeah, so there's a couple things I want to start off with.
Yeah.
One, I mentioned this to you off the show, but like I really wish the tutorials were better. I really wish that the opening hour was just more. You can have 3 levels of difficulty. So I think it was like explorer, alpinist, and then survivor. And like the first one is obviously like there's no stamina. There's no
Yep.
worry about drinking and stuff. And the way the game opens up is you're doing like practice walls and then a small cliff before the actual mountain. And I really would have appreciated if they kept all that stuff intact for the first like the first like maybe like the what do you want to call it? It's like you climb the mountain and then you get to like the first checkpoint. It's like the first checkpoint.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you get to the mountain, you start draining your stamina. You're getting thirsty. Your fingers are bleeding, and like that stuff was really throwing me off because I'm like, well, there's a lot to manage because I'm also climbing. I'm still not comfortable with the climbing. On top of that, she's getting thirsty. Ava's getting thirsty.
Mhm.
She's getting hungry. I have to make her food, and it's like all these systems are coming into play really quickly. And I was like, I don't like this. So I basically scrapped that. I started on the easiest difficulty, got to the same point, and that helped me understand what needed to be done because there's
Sure.
just so much going on. And if you're not a patient gamer, you're not going to like this game. And I can be impatient. And that's what really, if I didn't do that, I feel like I would have scored this game a lot lower.
Mhm.
But all those systems are really cool once you finally understand like the rhythm, how to do them, because you're not supposed to just always be checking, your stamina or your health or your hunger. Like you really need to be doing it in stages. So every time I'd get to a checkpoint and I think you're hanging off. I think it's like the rest points, the bivac. What do they call it? The biovac?
Yeah, I can't really remember the name, but yeah, it's where you set up your tent.
Yeah, like you
and
set up your
can-
camp on
yeah.
the cliff, and like that's where you do all your stuff, and like you recover and you start,
Yep.
cooking and all that. And it's like I didn't understand that, but
Yeah. You can rebandage your fingers and your hands and stuff like that.
and
But
that's
again,
all
you
really
have
cool.
to, within the mountain, you have to find ingredients to cook with.
Yeah.
You have to find sources
You
of
have to find
water to
ingredients.
refill your bottle. You have like a little robot that can go with you, and sometimes it will it can repair broken cairns as well
Yeah.
that you can use. But you did like there are a lot of deep survival mechanics in this game.
And they're all really cool, but
Yeah.
like I said, my biggest issue is you're not giving the right amount of time to learn everything of what you're doing and how to use them, because it's just like, well, You did the first 3 walls. You got over the first little mountain, little cliff. Go and climb. And I didn't like that. So if I had one suggestion to the team, it's just like redo your tutorials. But once I got that hurdle, like this game just really clicked for me.
Mm-hmm.
It became so interesting because I was just trying to learn how to, use all my limbs, how to climb the cliff rock faces, because you can't just be climbing every surface. And I know I asked you this, but like I assumed, it's just, they were going to do that cheap route of, like Assassin's Creed. Any surface is climbable, but nope. You climb on a flat surface, your body's going to start like tensing up. You're going to be slipping. You're going to be like freaking out. And you'll fall.
Are you using both sticks to control the different limbs? Like, how does that?
So with one of the sticks, you're essentially like aiming. So you can basically like go like a full, like almost like 180 degrees and kind of, and then you're using I believe it's the X or square button to climb, like to hold that position. And then automatically it will go to the next limb. So it'll be like in a pattern, you can go like left arm, left foot, right foot. There's also like an auto, like not an auto, manual, where you can kind of like go from there, but it kind of follows like basic logic. Like if you were to be an actual climber, what is the next limb you would theoretically want to move to, then progress your way up? It feels like you're learning how to ride a bike with being so methodical of which limb to use next and where to put it. But after a while, I was like, okay, I got a good rhythm. I'm moving. I want to ask you, Bobby, because in the game there are some like great permanent upgrades. I'm kind of curious, like, have you come across those? Which ones?
There's a couple. I just can't remember what the heck it was. I mean, I'm doing really weird things. I don't know if our paths are the same. But like I'm literally just for my first half of the game, all I did was basically zigzag up the mountain, find like little maps, go to those things, like whatever was there. Like I found like a fishing spot. I mean, the only thing I found was a stamina thing, but I can't remember. I mean, I'm playing it really weird. I don't know what you found, but like I think I found maybe like one, and I'm not trying to search for them. I'm just trying to kind of mess around with the map.
Yeah, because the map is very open-ended. Like you can take
like there's so much you can do.
It's so funny because like at the end, and no spoilers to it, there's like this, it like pulls back and it'll show you step by step like your entire journey. And there were areas in this map that I never even came across, but I found a lot of great upgrades. There's like a thermal blanket you can find. There's a larger water container that you can find, and then one of my favorite ones was the pinwheel that you can have on your backpack, which will show you when the wind is getting progressively more intense, and you can kind of brace yourself up against the rock wall. It's really cool stuff, and like for a game like this, I didn't expect there to be as many cool like upgrades and stuff like that to find.
There's just so many things, like, and if you like, and just like for those listening, you can press L1 or LB on the Xbox control, and it'll give you like a expanded view of where you are, and then you can press the square button, and it'll rank different pathways of where you want to go. So if you want to go this route, it's easier, but if you go this route, it's color coded to the difficulty.
A little bit Death Stranding-esque in that way.
I love that because I would decide to, do, like I said, the zigzags, and it would lead to some really weird stuff. Like I went to this thing behind a waterfall. It led to like an ancient tomb where you can go fishing. I went to and I don't know if you went to the secret club that had like the boom box, and it was just like all colors inside.
Oh, I didn't find that. No. No. But I did find a poisonous frog that I licked, and everything got super trippy.
Yeah, see, like there's stuff like that. Like I never got to that, and there's just and right to the map. Like their whole advertising is just no two climbs that are the same, and like that's what I'm kind of seeing right now from our climbs, because I haven't found a lot of upgrades. I mean, that's maybe just the way I'm approaching it, but like I found one. And so far, and like I'm just shocked because I'm finding more like hidden secrets that are in the mountain, whereas you haven't seen many of the ones I've seen, and that's the thing about this game.
Yeah, Yeah, it did incentivize me to be like, well, maybe I'll just restart and try a different path altogether and see what I come
That's
across.
the thing, because there's so many, like there's like the maps you find, like I said, and then you can really go any way to them because you don't know really where it is. You kind of have
Yep.
just a picture of it, and you're like, well, this kind of looks like it, but maybe it's further up. And then I would go to where the map I thought it would be, and it's like, nope, there's actually a similar place on the other side. You have to climb over to. I'm like, that's insane because it really.
Are you talking about the map with the 3 parts of a doll?
No, there's a
Oh,
map
okay.
that had like a waterfall, and then it points to this arrow at the waterfall, and it points down and around, and there's like a hidden room in there, and I
Oh,
haven't found it
interesting.
yet.
Yeah, so
There's
I came
maps
like
everywhere.
just for instance, I came across a map that was like, so here are 3 areas on the mountain, and each one will have like a hidden part of a doll, and you put them all together, and like there's an illusion to being able to control the weather. And I was like, oh, that's fucking sick. I'm
Oh,
gonna
see,
try
yeah,
and find
I
these.
do.
And for one of them, I completely missed. I had no idea where it was. The second one I found, and then the third one, it was like, okay, so it's at the top of this like statue, this big statue, and I was like, okay, I don't know where this is. And like I said, at the end of the game, it kind of shows you exactly where you went. And and lo and behold, I just missed it only because of the perspective that I was climbing the statue. I didn't know was a statue. And I was like, ah. Like you were saying, there's a different way to go about it, like a different way of, climbing. Your journey versus mine are going to be so different.
Yeah, and that's what I really appreciate. Like,
Yeah.
I thought it would be more condensed, but like, there's just all sense of scale I don't really register yet because it's just you can only do. It's a puzzle game. Ultimately, like this game is
Yep.
a puzzle game. Like you're basically trying to put Ava in the middle of this puzzle and then have her kind of move the pieces around to get where she needs to go. And like, I love the fact that it's like I said, no 2 climbs are the same, and it feels like that. And that kind of resonates with me in the fact that it says no 2 solutions are the same of how you get to the top of the mountain. And I love that. And I wish Jusant did that because Jusant was more story. That game had a better story. It had less realistic mechanics, but the balance was better story. But whereas this game is 90% mechanics and then 5% story, I'm not even going to give it a full 10 because it's really just a weak story.
That's fair. Yeah, I feel like the story is so forgettable and kind of it does play it safe. But aside from that, it is mechanically sound, pretty to look at. The music's great. But I just commend it for being so open-ended, but also at the same time so demanding of your patience in a way that's not Death Stranding in that way. It doesn't really require you to be that patient, but you do have to learn how to play this game. And I think the rewards of that are pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah. Was there anything else you wanted to bring up?
Regarding the game, no. Honestly, overall it's a really good game. I mean, check out the full review. We have going live today. There's a lot there to discuss. My only issue, like I said, was just a weak story. And I know you and I discussed this. The Game Baker games always have an issue with their frame rate. It's not obviously
that's worth bringing up. Yep.
Yeah, it's not bad in any way, but there are moments when the frame rate just drops. I mean, on PlayStation, I'm on PlayStation 5 Pro. When you're in the menus and then you're coming out of the menus, like it just cuts in half the frame rate, and then it stutters until everything kind of just reacclimates. But outside of that, it's a pretty solid 60 frames. It looks incredible. It plays incredible, but yeah, I don't know what causes that stutter, but it does become a nuisance when you're trying to do something in the menus.
Yep. But yeah, for me, I agree. I did have some issues with the frame rate, but it's aside from that, this is an easy like 9 out of 10 for me. Like I had a ton of fun with this game. I really do commend them for being able to come out with this and shock me because I didn't have any expectations going into Cairn up until this point. But yeah, that's about it for this week's Console Creatures Creature Cast. You can find us on all socials at Console Creatures, all one word, and be sure to check out consolecreatures.com where you can find the review of Cairn as well as other great stuff, great news, great reviews, and everything in between. But Jonathan, thank you for jumping in and being a part of this. If people want to find you online, where could they do so?
Yeah, happy to. I mean, this was awesome. Thank you guys. The Cariati Kid, but just follow us on Concert Creatures. We're doing a lot of great stuff there, and we're gonna keep pushing. So
absolutely, yeah, love that. And then Bobby, how about you?
Yeah, be Pashalitis. Follow us wherever you kind of gravitate towards. Follow us on Bluesky.
Amazing. And you can find me across the internet at S Vigvari. I'm already shot. My day is just coming to a close here. But yeah, we appreciate you all for tuning in for this episode, and we'll catch you in the next one. See ya.